The only locha in that whole argument is that is the Delhiite now willing to take this? They had a Sheila Dikshit in the state, yes, and they had a Sonia Gandhi at the center.
Yes.
So they that aligned power between the Delhi Secretariat and Raisina Hills is not good for the city. So if that question is something that is left to the judgment of the voter, and if police is one of those things that they don't want under the stranglehold of the center, certainly the Delhi voters could be deliberating. I'm not going to stick my neck out and say which way they will go as yet, but I would say that there is judgment on the part of the voter of Delhi, and they would think very astutely on issues. It wouldn't simply be a straight alignment between the center and the state. It hasn't worked for them very well in the past.
It hasn't worked, but it's worked for the BJP in other states. I gave the examples of Haryana and Maharashtra. So then let's look at who is the preferred choice for Chief Minister. This is what our survey said. Who is the preferred choice of Chief Minister? Remember, Indian elections at every level are becoming presidential. Here are some of the nominees. Kiran Bedi, just 3%, but remember her name has never been projected as yet by the BJP. We just put it. Satish Upadhyay, BJP President, 3%. Jagdish Mukhi, who is hoping to be made the BJP's Chief Ministerial candidate, he only gets 3%. It's clear that here is where the battle is being fought. Ajay Makan is 4%. Let's keep going and look at the other name. Arvinder Lovely, who could well be the Congress's Chief Ministerial candidate, 8%. Sheila Dikshit, 3-time Chief Minister, much loved at one time by Delhiites, 9%. Harshvardhan, now the country's Science and Technology Minister, 19% is what he gets. He's the leading BJP candidate. Arvind Kejriwal at the moment is getting 35%. So he's almost 2-to-1 ahead of Harshvardhan when that direct question was asked. Who is the most preferred Chief Ministerial candidate? Which brings me to the question, Yogendra Yadav, is this for you a presidential election? Just as Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi became a presidential election at one level, at least in the general election, are you determined to make this a presidential election? Because you know the moment it's Kejriwal versus Modi, you'll struggle. So you're trying to make it Kejriwal versus a Jagdish Mukhi, even though the BJP has not even announced a Chief Ministerial candidate.
Rajdeep, we are certainly not trying to make it presidential, but certainly personalities matter. Delhi people have more trust, and this has been one of the factors that has worked to our advantage, and your survey shows it clearly. In fact, I was looking at your other figures. The other figure, if you have time to show that as well, shows that when Delhi people were asked who has been the best ever Chief Minister of Delhi, and that's a comparison with Sahib Singh Verma, Madan Lal Khurana, Sheila Dikshit. In that as well, Arvind Kejriwal is way ahead of others.
But that's because he's just become CM.
Here for
that's because public memory may not be that long. I mean, that could be one explanation.
Rajdeep, it is true that recent chief ministers or prime ministers have a certain advantage, but that does not always happen. So if you are given all the 5 names, Arvind Kejriwal has stood in public memory as a very, very popular force, and that certainly is something which works to Aam Aadmi Party's advantage. We are not saying that we would not want Arvind Kejriwal versus Modi. If Mr. Modi wants to resign, wants to be Delhi's chief minister, I think he should get a fair chance. But otherwise, how can we make it Arvind Kejriwal versus Mr. Modi? I mean, it makes no sense. It has to be Mr. Mukhi. Mr. Mukhi thinks it's ridiculous. Well, if he thinks his name is ridiculous, then we could think of some other name.
No, that's because it's the Aam Aadmi Party who's nominating Mukhi. Please, no, Yogendra Yadav, the Aam Aadmi Party is playing mischief. You have chosen the BJP's chief ministerial candidate without even asking the BJP, because you want to make this a presidential contest, presidential-like contest between Mr. Kejriwal and Jagdish Mukhi. So it's the Aam Aadmi Party which is nominating the name of Mr. Mukhi.
If Mr. Nalin Kohli were to tell me on this show that all right, change Mr. Mukhi's face and put Mr. Harshvardhan's face, from next week we'll start doing that. If he says we should actually put a question mark against that, we would start doing that. We'll have Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and a question mark on the other side. We can do that. Whatever Mr. Kohli prefers, I'll go by that.
Mr. Nalin Kohli, do you want to respond? Who are you going to put as your face for Delhi? Is it Narendra Modi? Is the face Narendra Modi, or is the face some local candidate?
I must compliment Mr. Yadav for being able to, between 2 parts of the program, make a very, very smooth and efficient switch between a cephalogist first and now a complete political person. So welcome to the club. That was all glib talk, and you also know very well, Mr. Yadav, that neither am I going to say something like that, nor am I authorized to say
was
so.
I trying to
But you would like us
politics
to,
on
no,
this
no, a wonderful thing, of course, is that you would expect the BJP to run on the desires of Mr. Kejriwal, just as Mr. Kejriwal would like to run everything on his whims and fancies on a daily basis. So therefore, that model is yours. You are entitled to it. Your party can make whatever accusations and it can run it as it likes. We will go to the people as we decide, and we will believe.
So I'm asking you, how will you go?
Decide.
Nalin Kohli, how will you go? Is
Have
it
the
Mr. Modi's face?
Declared?
I want a straight answer.
Well, I'll give you a straight
Mr.
answer.
Modi's face going to be your face for Delhi?
Declared? Was a candidate declared in Maharashtra? Was a candidate declared in Haryana? But the people decided they wanted a full majority and a near majority government in both states.
So basically, Mr. Modi will be the face.
So, no, I never said that. Anyone, and perhaps only a young political person may say that Mr. Modi would like to resign as Prime Minister and come down and contest it. A more mature political person wouldn't even offer that argument.
You know, it's an interesting argument which is being made. And I want to understand this.
I'm recognized as young.
No, hold on, Yogendra. When we did a poll a year ago, it was very clear that this was before the general elections. A lot of people who are voting for Mr. Kejriwal as their chief minister wanted Mr. Modi as the prime minister.
Yeah. Right.
Now we are back to a situation where it's a Delhi election.
No, that's a
are those people going to look at Mr. Modi now as prime minister and judge him as his prime ministership while voting? Or are they looking for a local level BJP candidate? Is the survey suggesting people... This is the one advantage that the Aam Aadmi Party at the moment has over the BJP. They have a local, strong, credible chief ministerial candidate.
Of course, 6 months ago it worked to the BJP's advantage. Today it works to the AAP's advantage. The AAP has a face. In Haryana and in Maharashtra, the BJP did not project a CM candidate.
But the BJP won. The BJP won Haryana, Manisha.
But Delhi is different.
How is Delhi different? Why is Delhi different from Haryana and Maharashtra, where the BJP didn't project anyone and still won the election?
Look, this is where I differ slightly. People are thinking about their issues. Remember, large parts of India are in agrarian distress. If in Jharkhand, where I'm tracking the elections, people are coming out in large numbers to see Mr. Narendra Modi and also to hold him by his promises. So it is what is on offer, not as a matter of choice, but as a matter of distress for the worst off in the country. That's what, whether they are willing to take this by trust or not. So here I would say that I would wait for the elections. I think the Aam Aadmi Party's biggest advantage, their face, is also their biggest question mark. Don't forget that people are also angry with Mr. Arvind Kejriwal for the fact that he did not govern well. He was out on the streets. Even those who are diehard supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party tend to say that yes, he made a lot of mistakes. He should not have abdicated power. He should not have been on the Raisina Hills protesting. He should have behaved like a chief minister. I don't know what that means.
So you're saying Arvind Kejriwal is a double-edged sword today for the Aam Aadmi Party.
People are thinking there's decisions still to be made. The Aam Aadmi Party therefore needs to capitalize if it wants to turn this into an advantage and explore what it wants to make of this political opportunity.
I'm going to take a break because we're going to look at this. How did people see that 49-day government of Arvind Kejriwal? Importantly, how are people viewing Narendra Modi's 6-month government? Remember, Delhi could be the election where that could be a decisive factor. How do you rate Modi's performance over 6 months, Narendra Modi's performance, versus how do you rate Arvind Kejriwal's performance over 49 days? Is that going to be a critical factor? Much more on the India Today CICERO Delhi election tracker, the first big election tracker ahead, the other big findings of our survey. Remember, it's 6 months of the Narendra Modi government. The government functions out of the national capital. We asked the respondents in Delhi, how did they view this government? Let's take you through how Delhi's verdict on the Prime Minister's performance. 34% of Delhi say that the Modi government's performance is better than expected, so it's better than expectations. 33% were of the view that the Modi government had performed as per expectations. So you add those two, that's about 67% saying better or as per expectations. Only 22% not happy with the performance of the Prime Minister. So clearly Mr. Modi is getting a thumbs up from the voters of Delhi at the moment. What do the people of Delhi think about Arvind Kejriwal and his party's 49-day rule at the start of the year? 35% were of the view that Mr. Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party performed above expectations. 32% believed it performed on expectation line. So very similar to Mr. Modi when it comes to people again believing that Kejriwal either performed well, above expectations. Only 21% felt less than that his performance was less than expectations. That's interesting, Yogendra Yadav, because if this becomes about Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal, public expectations of both Arvind Kejriwal and Narendra Modi seem to be in the same range as far as Delhi is concerned. People are rating the central government well as your 49-day government well. So it's a tight race.
That's precisely what distinguishes Delhi from Haryana and Maharashtra, Rajdeep. Mr. Modi enjoys good ratings, as most governments do in the first 6 months of their tenure. But they were competing in Maharashtra and Haryana against governments who were rated very, very poorly. So there was no battle. In Delhi, yes, Mr. Modi enjoys good ratings, but as you pointed out, Arvind Kejriwal's 49 government has almost identical, in fact a shade better rating than that. That is what makes Delhi into a real battle. So this is not going to be just a cakewalk the way BJP thought it would be. And as I said in the earlier part of the program, the more it becomes an assembly election of Delhi, people would be driven by their assessment of the assembly of the Delhi state government that they saw, and that is the second big thing that's working for us: Arvind Kejriwal's popularity and people's assessment of 49 days. I heard very carefully what Manisha said about our government. Yes, there is no doubt that people were unhappy about the fact that we gave up government, but their assessment of what happened in those 49 days is different, and that is something you can see in the survey itself.
But there is a feeling that there is a divide there between the middle class and the lower income groups, and I'll come to that the middle class is particularly disillusioned with the Aam Aadmi Party. The lower income groups perhaps see Arvind Kejriwal as someone who provided them, they believe, free power and free water and free power. But Nalin Kohli, the question comes about the kind of campaign you will launch over the next 7 weeks. I'm told that every MP of the BJP has been told you're going to have to focus on Delhi in the month of January. The Prime Minister is going to invest a lot of time. Are you treating this as something more than just another state election? It's a prestige battle. You want to finish Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party once and for all.
No, I think let's go one by one. The national aspirations of Mr. Kejriwal and his party got decimated in the Lok Sabha. They did try to be a national party. They restrained themselves for reasons that nobody could understand from Haryana, where somewhere they were seen to have some kind of a support base. But now let's come to Delhi. Delhi is always seen in a big light because the national media is here. If you would actually go down and study what happened in, say, Haryana or in Maharashtra, I can speak of Maharashtra, I was there for a few days. There was a large number of BJP cadre people, leaders from all over the country who were working there consistently. But it doesn't get reported in that sense because Delhi is smaller geographically and the national media is here.
But isn't it true that Arvind Kejriwal gets under your skin? Isn't it true that Arvind Kejriwal gets under your skin and you want to finish him once and for all?
No,
like you went out, you want to go all out in this election to finish the Aam Aadmi Party.
No, Rajdeep, I think that political objective is always there with every political party. And when you are being able to take on your opponents, political opponents, you would like to put up a better showing. I don't think it's about it being personal or it's about, that's standard. There's nothing exceptional about it. But in terms of Delhi, one of the greatest hopes that actually we expect from the voters of Delhi is to only evaluate Mr. Kejriwal and his performance, what he says, what he does. And I think when you found it in terms of breaking it down to different aspects, the middle class, the Jhuggi Jhopadi clusters, that perhaps also reveals a story why the Congress is being decimated in vote share. Because traditionally, the Congress held on to certain areas where the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP are competing.
I take your point. Nalin, I take your point. You know, Kiran Walia, the Congress is the party which is the real big loser. You're losing your traditional vote among the Jhuggi Jhopadi, Dalits, poorer groups to the Aam Aadmi Party possibly. You're losing middle class, upper middle class to the BJP. You seem to be getting squeezed on both sides. Muslim vote seems to be going towards the Aam Aadmi Party. Congress is losing its traditional vote. If these results are true, the Congress is, as it was in the general election, in serious trouble, ma'am.
Excuse me, the people are realizing that a lot that the Aam Aadmi Party said and did, and so did their leaders do, there is a sense of betrayal, It hasn't stood to the test of time. False promises. The middle class is very much aware of this. Water, now they're saying absolutely free water. That means 25,000 crores. I don't know from where they're going to adjust. What are the other cuts that they would make in the budget? They don't explain anything. So people are not taking them seriously, because I don't think politics is something that you learn
That's not what our
by
survey is saying.
governance at the cost
Ma'am,
of
that may be,
yes, exactly.
That's your hope.
Yeah.
That's not what our survey is saying. Our survey is saying the Aam Aadmi Party is eroding the Congress vote.
We are also interacting with, excuse me, we are also interacting with people, and we do feel that they had committed that they would be making permanent out of all the contract employees, whether they are teachers, whether they are the hospital, so on. So at every count they feel a sense of betrayal. So 49 days is both a plus point and a minus point. A plus point because you have hardly governed to be really judged. And there could be something that's, like
Ma'am, today I have to go by my survey numbers. And the numbers are not good for the Congress. But Manisha Priyam, quick, we are running out of time. I just want to understand Delhi for our viewers. Yeah, ma'am, just a minute. Delhi for viewers beyond Delhi as well. This is a city where you told me at the start 75% either live in unauthorized colonies, jhuggi jhopdis or slum clusters. 3 in every 4. Therefore, this traditional image that Delhi is a middle class city, it's not about Lutyens Delhi, it's not about the VIPs, it's not about even the upper middle class localities, it is about those who live in jhuggi jhopdis and slum clusters. Is that where the battle for Delhi will be fought? Quick response.
Literally so. Delhi is a mix of Manu and Weber. It's not just that they're lower middle class or they're poor people. It's a stigmatized Delhi that doesn't get recognized by the central Delhi, the imperial Delhi, the Roman columns, the sites of power. It lives outside the master plan. And that's where the Aam Aadmi Party had its mastery. I would say the only caveat is that the Dalits voted the Aam Aadmi Party at the time of the assembly elections. However, at the national election time, they had moved on the other way. So the battle for Delhi is still open. It's not, however, in favor of the Congress. It's really a tight race between the Aam Aadmi Party.
So it's Aam Aadmi Party versus the BJP in Delhi. That's becoming clear. Quick 30 seconds, Dhananjay Joshi. We're going to have another tracker in the month of January before the final big one in February. Do you believe that it is at the moment a sign of the times that it is AAP versus BJP? That will be the battle of Delhi.
That will be the battle of Delhi, a close contest.
Okay, close contest. It is going to be Aam Aadmi Party versus the BJP. Narendra Modi as Prime Minister, Arvind Kejriwal battling to be Chief Minister. The next 6 weeks or so promise to be fascinating as we look ahead to the battle for Delhi. This will be your destination for all the election surveys, for the best in politics. This is where you can turn to. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.